Cha Hae-In has a gift that no other hunter in Korea possesses. She can sense them. Every registered hunter in a room. Their rank, their power, their emotional temperature. Presents itself to her as a distinct and categorizable thing. An S rank feels like standing too close to a furnace. An A rank has the clean sharpness of something well forged. Lower ranks exist on a gradient she has memorized so completely she no longer consciously processes it. It is simply there, the way color is simply there for someone with normal vision. In 11 years of active hunting, she has encountered every classification the system recognizes and many that it does not. She has stood in rooms with S ranks who made her teeth ache with proximity. She has cleared dungeons alongside hunters, so faint she had to remind herself they were present. She has never encountered a reading she could not file. Chapters 26 through 30 are the arc where that changes. Go Gun-hee asked her to observe a specific E-rank hunter from the Seoul district. Routine reassessment. His words. She accepted because Go Gun-hee's instincts have never been wrong in the 19 years she has known him, and because the file he sent her raised questions she could not answer. Without seeing the subject in person. What she could not have anticipated. What no briefing document could have prepared her for. Is what happens the moment Sung Jin-Woo walks into the same building. This is Solo Leveling, chapters 26 through 30, the arc where Jin-Woo is seen, for the first time, by someone who cannot misidentify what she is looking at. Quick context for where we are. The interrogation arc ended with Go Gun-hee making a phone call to Cha Hae-In, the 4th-rank hunter in Korea, an S rank with a unique secondary ability that allows her to sense a hunter's mana signature. Go Gun-hee's ask was simple: observe Jin-Woo, tell me what you find. Jin-Woo, meanwhile, is operating at a level that his E-rank registration makes statistically impossible to explain. His shadow army now numbers 7 soldiers. His stats, if measured accurately, would classify him somewhere above A rank and climbing rapidly toward territory the system's existing scale was not built to describe. He has refused one offer of institutional protection and is proceeding entirely alone, as always. These 5 chapters are where those 2 trajectories collide. This is the arc that made Solo Leveling go global. The moment that readers cite when they explain to someone who has never heard of Manhwa why they should start here, with this series, immediately. And it does not happen in a dungeon. It does not happen in a fight. It happens in the space of one hallway, when a woman who has classified every hunter she has ever met tries to classify Sung Jin-Woo and discovers that her entire taxonomy is missing a category. Chapter 26. The Hunter Association's Seoul Branch Office. A routine reassessment day. 30 registered hunters cycling through administrative evaluations. The kind of procedural bureaucracy that fills the association schedule on quiet weeks. Cha Hae-In arrives early. She takes a position in the corridor near the assessment rooms where she can observe the hunters as they move through. Casual, unhurried, completely unremarkable to anyone watching her. She begins cataloging as they enter. C rank, steady. B rank, slightly elevated today. Anxiety about the reassessment. Another C rank. A D rank whose actual power registers as E. She makes a note. The corridor fills and empties, and she processes all of it without effort, the way a musician hears a chord without consciously naming each note. And then the door at the far end of the corridor opens. She feels it before she sees him. Not warmth. Not sharpness. Not the clean, distinctive presence of a ranked hunter with a known signature. What she feels is a pressure. Vast and dark and entirely unlike anything in her catalog. It is the difference between standing near a candle and standing at the edge of something with no bottom. It is not heat. It is depth. She turns. Sung Jin-Woo is walking down the corridor. He looks unremarkable. Young, slightly built, expression neutral. His badge reads E. Nothing about his appearance suggests that he should be capable of producing the signal she is receiving. Cha Hae-In has classified thousands of hunters. She has a word for every rank she has ever encountered. She has words for hunters whose abilities fall outside the standard classification grid. She has words for things the association has no official category for. She has no word for what she is smelling from Sung Jin-Woo. She does not move. She watches him sign in at the desk, collect his paperwork, take a seat in the waiting area. He does none of this with particular attention. He is performing ordinariness with the casual ease of someone who has been practicing it for months. And the signal coming off him does not waver. It is not an anomaly of proximity or mood or circumstance. It is simply what he is. Every hunter she has ever met smells like something she recognizes. Jin-Woo does not. And she cannot decide. Sitting very still in a corridor, pretending to review a document she has not looked at once, whether that is because he is very powerful, or because he is something else entirely. Stop. Because I want you to understand what Cha Hae-In's inability to classify Jin-Woo actually means. Because if you read it as simply he is very strong, you are missing the structural significance of what Chugong has built. Cha Hae-In's ability is a measuring instrument. It is calibrated against every known category of hunter power. When she encounters something it cannot measure, that does not mean the scale needs to go higher. It means the scale is measuring the wrong thing. Jin-Woo does not register as an unusually powerful hunter. He registers as something the instrument was not designed to detect. He is not off the chart. He is off the chart's entire axis. Chapter 27. Cha Hae-In files a report with Go Gun-hee that contains exactly 2 sentences of assessment and a third sentence that she writes and deletes 4 times before leaving it in. She writes, his registered rank is E. She writes, his actual signature is unlike any hunter I have assessed in 11 years of active duty. And then she writes the sentence she almost did not send. She writes, I do not know what he is. Go Gun-hee reads this report. He reads it 3 times. And then he does something that surprises everyone on his staff who has ever seen him operate under pressure. He smiles. Not because he is happy. Because after 19 years of watching for the thing that would change this world, he is fairly certain he has found it. Chapter 28. Jin-Woo, unaware of any of this, enters a B-rank gate alone. He has been running B-ranks for the last 2 weeks, upgrading his shadow soldiers, testing the limits of his extraction ability, mapping the geometry of what he can do. He is systematic about it in the way that people who have spent a long time surviving without support systems become systematic, because the planning is the only safety net. He clears the gate in 11 minutes, extracts 2 new shadows. His army is now 9. He exits, files his report as a solo C rank. Technically a misclassification, but within the range that does not trigger automatic review. He does not know that Cha Hae-In is standing 40 meters away when he comes out. Chapter 29. She sees him exit. And this time, instead of watching from a distance and filing a report, she walks toward him. They have never spoken. She approaches with a pretext, a question about the gate's interior layout, the kind of routine debrief the association conducts after solo clearances. Jin-Woo answers. Politely. Carefully. The same careful politeness Go Gun-hee noted. She is close enough now that the signal is not subtle anymore. It is overwhelming in the way that standing at the edge of something with no bottom is. Overwhelming. Not because it threatens her, but because her brain keeps trying to find a reference point and cannot. She asks him one question that has nothing to do with the gate debrief. She asks him what rank he is. Jin-Woo looks at her. Something in his expression shifts. almost imperceptibly. The way a person's face changes when they realize they are being asked a question with a real answer behind it. He says "Erank." She holds his gaze. He does not look away. Neither does she. She writes in her report that night. She writes the date, the location, the duration of the interaction. She writes his registered rank. And in the field marked assessment, she writes one word. Immeasurable. That report is the single panel that readers cite when they explain why this series went global. One word. Filed by the fourth most powerful hunter in Korea, who has never in 11 years been unable to classify what she was standing next to. Here's what I think makes chapters 26 through 30 the most important arc in the first 30 chapters of Solo Leveling. And it has nothing to do with power levels. Every narrative up to this point has been about what Jin-Woo can do. The double dungeon. The system. The daily quests. The grind. The shadow extraction. The ambush. The interrogation. All of it has been building a portrait of capability. What this person is able to do when operating without constraints. Chapters 26 through 30 shift the question. They stop asking what Jin-Woo can do and start asking what Jin-Woo is. And the answer, delivered not by the system, not by a dramatic reveal, but by the quiet written assessment of a woman who measures things for a living, is that the question itself might be using the wrong vocabulary. Cha Hae-In's report does not say he is the strongest hunter she has encountered. It says the framework she uses to assess hunters does not generate a meaningful output when applied to him. That is a completely different statement. Strongest implies a scale where he sits at the top. Immeasurable implies the scale was never the right tool. Chu Gong has been building to this. The system's first message called Jin-Woo a player, not a hunter, not a hero. Go Gun-hee called him the most important hunter alive and was careful to distinguish that from the strongest. And now Cha Hae-In, whose ability is literally the measurement of hunters, files a report that says measurement does not apply. These are not coincidences. They are the author laying the same structural truth 3 times in 3 different registers. Jin-Woo is not participating in the game that everyone else is playing. He is something prior to the game. Something the game was not designed to contain. What I cannot tell you, and what I think the series is genuinely uncertain about, is whether Jin-Woo knows this. Does he understand, on some level, that he has already moved past the world's ability to classify him? Or is he still, in his own head, the E-rank hunter paying his mother's hospital bills? Drop your reading in the comments. I have asked this question to everyone I know who has finished the series, and I have never gotten the same answer twice. But here's the thing about where Chapter 30 leaves us. Cha Hae-In's report is on Go Gun-hee's desk. He reads it once. He does not need to read it twice. He has been waiting for this confirmation since the Kim report, since the meeting, since the incident report from the Seoul Gate collapse. He now has, from the most reliable source he knows, a formal assessment that does what 19 years of experience told him was coming. Sung Jin-Woo is not a hunter who needs to be monitored. He is a phenomenon that needs to be understood. And Go Gun-hee, who is fundamentally a pragmatist, not a strategist, makes a decision that is genuinely well-intentioned and catastrophically timed. He decides to bring Jin-Woo in. Not by force. Not through surveillance or legal pressure. He sends a formal invitation, an official summons to what he describes as a collaborative discussion about Jin-Woo's exceptional development and how the association can support it. Everything above board. Everything transparent. What he does not know, what nobody on his staff knows, is that in the 72 hours between Cha Hae-In filing her report and that invitation landing in Jin-Woo's inbox, something has changed in the dungeons. Something new has appeared. Something that the system classifies at a level none of the existing gates in Korea were designed to handle. Something that, when Jin-Woo's system detects it, produces a notification he has never seen before. A red notification. Not blue. Not white. Red. Go Gun-hee's invitation is in Jin-Woo's inbox. The red notification is on Jin-Woo's system. And Jin-Woo, because he is exactly who he has always been, is not opening the invitation first. Chapters 31 through 35 cover what the red notification means, what Jin-Woo finds when he follows it, and the moment that forces the hunter world to stop pretending it has a plan for what Sung Jin-Woo is. That recap drops Thursday. Subscribe now. Because if you have been watching this series build towards something, it is about to arrive.